Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm also doing well. We've got a great program in store for you. I've got a guest coming up later in the show, and I've got some quotes to get to.
Okay.
So our guest that we're going to be chatting with later in the program is Janice Robinson, and she had a song back in the 90s, and now she's back in the public eye because she's a contestant on X Factor UK. And it's really kind of cool because she's a contender. She's looking like she might do really well. So going to be chatting with her later in the program. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Also, like I said, do have some quotes to get to. So let's take a look at those. How about this one? What we think, we become. Buddha said that. Mother Teresa said, it is not how much we do, but how much love we put into the things we do. It is not how much we give, but how much love we put into the giving. I like that. A couple of great quotes. And there's my quote. It's like, pass me that mashed potatoes. It's not a good quote. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, October the 6th, is National Orange Wine Day. Ooh, orange wine. National Plus Size Appreciation Day on Saturday. National Mad Hatter Day as well. National German American Day. And National Noodle Day. The 7th, which is a Sunday, National LED Light Day, National Frappe Day, and National Inner Beauty Day. All of that happening this weekend. Thanks for joining us. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Coming up, we get your brain on drugs, but first, a patron found a loaded gun in the bathroom of a New York restaurant. It was a restaurant run by celebrity chef Jeffrey Zakarian.
I don't know who that is.
So he's a celebrity chef. So it means he's like a regular chef, but he's a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Yeah, me neither. But they found a loaded handgun in the bathroom. I wonder what was going on there. You think somebody was like washing up and they set the gun on the counter and then forgot it there?
Or it's like one of those gangster movies where they like hid it behind the tank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why were you looking back there anyway? Looking for a mint? We've got your brain on drugs. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. At this time every day, we talk about people doing silly things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or somebody you know needs some help, you can get more info at timeforrehab.com. Tennessee inmate found escaping prison was easy, but getting back in, not so easy. We've had several stories where people do this. Robert Fusco is the latest. He's serving a 68-year sentence for aggravated kidnapping, and he pled not guilty Tuesday to accusations that he escaped prison only to attempt to break back in days later with a bunch of contraband. 37-year-old Fusco escaped from the Morgan County Correctional Complex, a minimum security facility he left on January 5th. He was captured 2 days later trying to smuggle drugs and a cell phone and some tobacco into the prison. He reportedly was trying to sneak in the illicit items to sell them on the black market in the prison. Neither the state's Department of Corrections or prosecutors revealed how he escaped. He's among 8 people, including 2 former correctional officers indicted earlier this month as part of this contraband scheme. So it's quite the deal, but bad idea. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Actor Michael Rappaport is being suing Barstool Sports for firing him and claiming that he has herpes. What?
I don't know who he is either. I don't know who any of these people are that
you
we're
don't
talking
get
about
out
today.
much, Heidi. That's the problem. Shia LaBeouf, you know him?
I do know that one.
He's
yes.
moved on from Maya Goth and is now dating FKA Twigs.
But I don't know who either of those people are.
I don't even know if I said the names right. Bravo announced that Southern Charm star Thomas Ravenel will not be returning to the show following aggravations.
My goodness.
Allegations of sexual assault. So there we go. Sorry for butchering that. Of all the things. Oh, boy. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. A software developer has made a new app that aims to get children off mobile phones by having their parents call out instructions as the kids play at the park. What?
What?
It's an app where you're apparently reading things off of an app and you're telling your kids what to do at the park. I don't get it.
Okay.
Why do you need the app for that?
Right?
Say, hey, kids, play at the park.
Whatever.
I don't know
Wow.
why this is needed. A new survey found that people between the ages of 16 and 24 experience loneliness the most. The study found that the more Facebook friends a person has, the more lonely they feel. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know about that.
I could see that because if you spend all your time acquiring these imaginary Facebook friends, you're not interacting with real
Like
people.
real people. I got it. That makes sense then. The SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, have yanked Elon Musk's Twitter privileges after he tweeted a joke about Tesla that jolted the stock market. So they said, no Twitter for you. I can't believe they can do
I
that.
don't get Twitter. Who cares?
I don't know. I'm on Twitter.
I'm not.
And for those of you that are on there, thanks for following me. I'll tweet you. I'll tweet you later. Is that the right way to say that?
I have no idea.
Tweet you later, baby. I don't think that's the right way to say it. If that is the cool way to say it, I said it the least cool way that you could say it because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think it's interesting that they said no more Twitter for you because you caused a problem with the stock market. Could they do that to anybody? Could they do that to
They can do whatever they want.
political leaders?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And they do.
Somebody in particular I'm thinking of. I wonder if that'll happen. Germany now has an adults-only Oktoberfest where adults can drink beer and get naked in full sight of others during this special Oktoberfest celebration. So, didn't they just have like a problem with British women coming there and drinking and getting drunk? And getting scantily clad outfits.
They didn't want...
So now they're like, hey, no, we got our own thing going on. It's for German women only. So, I don't know. It's interesting. In Indiana, I'm sorry, this is an India man. From India. At first I was thinking it was from Indiana, but I read it too quickly. From India. He's from India. He's a man there. He's grown a mustache that's 22 feet long.
Whoa!
World's longest mustache. The Indian man has been growing the mustache for 30 years. He spends 3 hours a day grooming his mustache. He must not have a job, I'm guessing.
He must not.
What's your job? I'm a mustache grower. Okay.
Why would you want something
I would
like
not.
that?
I can't. When my beard and mustache gets too long, I have to trim it. It drives me nuts. And finally, Amazon is bowing to outside pressures and raising employees' pay from minimum wage to $15 an hour. And I saw a video online of the Amazon people in their cages. I mean, in their workspaces.
In their cages?
I was just being silly. They were in their workspaces, and they were all cheering when that happened. So that was my attempt at humor. It probably wasn't funny. I'm going to go take a nap now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have Janice Robinson joining us right now. Now, Janice has a song that did very, very well a few years back, and then she had a chance to kind of live a regular life and have some kids, and now, this is really cool, she's back on stage on the X Factor UK, and that's on Access TV here in the United States. Janice, what is it like after a couple years, living, I'm going to do air quotes here, a regular life, to kind of be back in the spotlight again and doing some cool stuff?
It feels really surreal. I mean, I just feel so blessed that I've managed to have a career, then take a break, become a mom, be a dedicated daughter to my very sick parents during that time, and now return. My kids are a bit older, 16 and 10, and I have students, and I just think it's an inspiration for my kids and for my students and for anybody that's a middle-aged parent. You don't have to give up your dream. You can come back to it. And now the world we live in with all the different programs and stuff, just show back up for yourself. Show back up for your dreams. And that's kind of all I did.
I think it's really, really cool. And how fun was it when the people on the program, the X Factor, realized that, wait a minute, you're the lady. You're that lady that sang that song. You opened for Tina Turner. You toured. How cool was it when they had a chance to realize who it was standing on stage there with them?
That was the best feeling ever, because for years and years I watched the whole Simon Cowell generation. People would say to me, "You should try out for this. You should try out for that." And I was like, I really don't need to. And then enough time went by where I realized, you know what? They have this category called the overs, and X Factor is about having the X Factor. It's not about your age. It's about, do you have that thing? And I just felt like, wouldn't this be cool? And Simon's reaction, Robbie's reaction, Ida's reaction, and to have a One Direction, a kid from a One Direction band react that way to me, for me, it was the ultimate.
I think it's really cool that you came out and you sang your song, Dreamer, and, they're going, man, you did such a great job. Well, of course you did. It's your song. That's awesome. I think that was just such a cool idea to do it that way.
Yeah, it was a very unique situation, only because the thing with Dreamer, I wrote it, I sang it, and yes, I created, that whole group name, Live and Joy, that consisted of DJs and producers and me as the front person. And back in the 90s, there was a lot of that. And one of the things I didn't want to become that. I wanted to be an artist, like an artist that has a journey, that tells her story through music, like Prince, like Aretha Franklin, like Michael Jackson. I wanted to be that. And when I ended up kind of fronting a dance act, I was just kind of like, wait a minute. So now to be back singing that song, but as Janice Robinson, it feels good. It feels full circle, but it feels divinely right for my soul and for my spirit.
Well, I'm super excited for you, and no matter what happens, I know you are a serious contender to win the whole darn thing, which you absolutely positively could.
I can't even think about that. There's that's in the air. It's buzzing. I just can't think about that. I have to stay humble, stay grateful, and just know that this is a story to inspire anybody of any age, from any country, any race, any gender. It don't matter. This is a story of never giving up and continuing to believe in yourself.
Well, I think it's really cool. And here's the thing I was going to say. No matter what happens for the rest of the season, Janice, you are already a winner, because you got up on the stage and you did this, and you're inspiring millions of people who maybe, they gave up on something a while back. And I don't want to say it that you gave up. You did something that was even more important. You raised a family. I think that's.
Yes, I took care. Listen, when your parents, when you become a certain age, the reality is your parents may get sick.
Yeah.
Their health may decline. That's the reality for everybody. Some people get lucky. Some people got a 90-year-old mother still driving around. Good for them. But most likely, your parents get to a certain age, and you become the parent for your parents. That happened to me. It happened to me smack dab in the middle of the height of my career, right when I got off tour with Tina Turner. I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing. I got to spend several good years with my mom and dad who have passed away. I got to, I was able to give birth to 2 children that I was very present in their life in those very early formative years, from baby all the way up to, 5th grade, and now my other daughter is a junior in high school. So for me, right now, my children are able to say, Mommy, go. That's amazing.
I think it is.
When they're young, you got to be present. It's so important. So I know I did the right thing. Yes, I've been away for over a decade or more, but I just know that when I stand on that stage, millions of people are like, wow, you can come back to your dreams. You can try again. You can believe in yourself. Even at 50, you can. Society puts all these walls up for people, and it's like, no, break the wall down, do you, and be happy, because you get one life. And I'm trying to live my best life every day.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I'm so proud of you for getting back up on that stage and doing that. And you got those 2 daughters that have to be really proud of you as well.
Oh, yeah. My daughters are proud of me. My parents are in heaven smiling. And my students, these beautiful students that I walk into classroom, and I'm now just a guest teacher, but all the students, the hundreds of students that have met me over the last 5 years that I've been in the education system, those students have something to really, really inspire them. And for me, that's what this is all about. Looking at all the lives that 15, 20 years from now, they'll be able to say, oh, my teacher, Miss Robinson, J Mama, she did something, and you know what, I'm going to do it. And when they're 30 or 40, they know that they can rebirth, reinvent themselves, and go for their dreams. It don't matter how old you are. What matters is that you got the guts and the perseverance to do it.
Super excited for you, Janice. Thank you for taking a few minutes to chat.
Thank you so much. Watch the show every Sunday and Monday night, and go on a journey with me. I love my country. I love where I'm from. Even though I'm over in the UK making this happen, I represent the American dream.
That is awesome. Again, Janice Robinson, chart-topping singing sensation, and she's a current X Factor UK contestant. She's an acclaimed singer, songwriter, choreographer, and you can actually see her on the program on Sunday nights and on Monday nights. And if you'd like to know more, we've got a link to it, but all the details on our show notes page, but it's on Access TV if you want to watch it stateside here. Access TV, again, all the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers, or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those 2. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
President Richard Nixon once smuggled a suitcase full of weed through the airport for Louis Armstrong.
Really?
Yeah, I did not know that. Did you know that?
While he was president?
I don't know if he was president at the time.
Probably not.
Could have been. Maybe he was the vice president. He was vice president for 2 terms, and he was president for 2 terms. Very few people served 4 terms in those top spots. There's only like a couple of them, so he's one of them. But that, I think, is really fascinating. So, Richard Nixon. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. Are you ready for the word of the day, Heidi? Clinomania. Clinomania. C-L-I-N-O-M-A-N-I-A. Clinomania. What do you think clinomania means?
Is it a very pretty sounding venereal disease?
No, it's not a pretty sounding anything. Clinomania, you think it's a pretty sounding?
It sounds like a flower.
No, it's not a flower either. It is an excessive desire to lie down and stay in bed, or a morbid amount of sleepiness. Clinomania. So,
You don't think that sounds like a flower?
No, I don't think so.
Like chlamydia?
No, and that's not a flower.
It sounds like a flower.
It's not a flower.
It sounds very pretty.
Can we stop saying things like that? Her name is Heidi, Heidi, for those complaints. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. Time now for some weird news this weekend. In Georgia, 2 DeKalb County pre-K teachers resigned after students accused them of tying their hands behind their backs with zip ties.
Whoa!
Oakview Elementary suspended 2 teachers after a parent said they tied 2 young girls' hands behind their backs as a form of punishment. Principal sent a letter to the parents on Thursday saying the steps were taken immediately to investigate the allegations they were making, including removing the staff members from duty pending a resolution. The investigation is ongoing, but the news station reported 2 teachers have resigned over this. The mother of one girl, one of the 2 girls, said they had their hands allegedly zip-tied. She told Channel 2 she's furious that this happened
Absolutely.
to a 4-year-old, by the way.
A 4-year-old?
Yeah, one mother was quoted as saying, "My God, that's like being in jail with handcuffs. How can someone do this to a 4-year-old child?" The name of the teachers have not been released. So, bizarre. What a bizarre story. Thanks for listening. That's why we call this Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. After allegedly burglarizing a fraternity house, a 25-year-old woman reportedly was caught with her pants down by a member of the house. The woman, identified as Melissa Lenz, allegedly entered the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity in Oklahoma City. And it says here she went through the front door, which was unlocked, went into a room where she stole hundreds of dollars of cash and a set of car keys, according to the report. During that time, she reportedly defecated in the middle of the room. Jennifer Rogers, the Oklahoma City University police chief, told the news station the fraternity member, who had not yet been identified, walked in while she was in the middle of that last act. At the time, she screamed and pulled up her pants before slamming the door. And then escaped the house through an open window before the police arrived. She was later located and arrested. Stolen items were returned to the fraternity member. What in the world was going on there? I mean, that is bizarre.
Had to have been some substances involved.
It doesn't say that. Otherwise, this would have
been
been a different story, even for a different segment of the show. But
oh my gosh.
No, it's just your moment of duh, because no other explanation. So this is definitely today's moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers, or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those 2. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. Time for me to read a story to my beautiful bride, Heidi, and she has to tell me if it's a true story that happened in the great state of Florida, or if it's all fake news made up just to trick her. You ready for this one?
I am ready.
A 17-year-old male has been arrested after police say he stole an AR-15 and tactical gear from a Palm Beach Sheriff deputy unmarked police car. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, that was a Florida.
We had several.
I
We
know.
had several Floridas in a row. I was thinking it was time for a.
I was thinking that if I put a lot of the details in there, the 17-year-old, the AR-15, the Palm Beach deputy unmarked police car, I thought maybe if I threw all that in there, it would trick you, and it did. So
No, I was just thinking it was time for a fake news one.
No, you don't even pay attention to me, really. You just you have them all listed. You're like, okay, I'm looking for a pattern here. Thanks for listening to Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. Good news comes your way courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. And North Korea and South Korea, between the two of them, they have a thing called the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone. And your grandfather served in the Korean War.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was in the 1950s. So that's how long ago that this little thing split up here. For the first time in our lifetimes, they're working together to clear the mines from the DMZ.
How beautiful is that?
So this decades-long conflict that's been going on between North and South Korea, it's coming to an end. The 155-mile-long, 248-kilometer-long stretch called the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone, they're working together right now to clear it of the mines. They're landmines because, again, that's a war zone. Mm-hmm. They've been clearing mines over the course of the next couple of weeks. They're going to be working together to try to get this done.
That's awesome.
And this is something that nobody would have dreamed possible even a year ago.
And both leaders have given the credit to President Trump.
I think that's really cool. And whether you like the guy or you don't like the guy, this is something that you absolutely have to look at that and say, that's cool. That's very cool. In addition to 2 million landmines, that's what they estimate are in there.
Wow.
It's also suspected, the DMZ is suspected to contain the remains of over 300 UN and North Korean soldiers from 1950 to 1953 Korean War. Also, an unspecified amount of South Korean and Chinese soldiers as well. So they're working on getting all of the remains where they belong as well. So I think it's really cool that this is finally coming to an end since 1950.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really good news. I've got a link to this in the good news section in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.